The goal of our videos is really to highlight the video drills and to show you that you can learn these drills on your own and you can implement them into the classes. But if you need any additional support from us, please let us know and we can come out and train, or talk to you on the phone and let you know what we expect in those classes. It's also super important to always use visuals, the poly spots, the colored circles for the kids to stand on at all times. We use a visual schedule for our classes so that we point to what's expected. For instance, first we start with greetings, and we might do obstacle course, then we go to stretching. And it's important to use these visual schedules in every single program in the beginning so that the children know what to expect during class. We also use a stretching poster. We point to each of the stretches as a visual. We have visual cue cards, yes/no cards. Actually pictures of a forehand volley, a forehand ground stroke, to use so that any type of a child who is not able to understand the auditory and the verbal direction, they can look at the visual and understand, oh, that's what I'm supposed to do. So a critical component to our program is increasing communication skills, which is focusing on these visuals.
What is teamwork? What does it mean to demonstrate good teamwork?
And when you work together.
When you work together, thank you. That was really good. So today we're going to demonstrate great teamwork, right?
Even if you just have a tennis background and you don't have a lot of background with children with special needs, we still highly encourage you that you take out this packet every week during your classes and use the visual schedule, use the stretching boards, use the yes/no cards. Some children have communication devices that they use to communicate, which is also great. We encourage this as well.
What do you like to work for?
Home.
You want to go home?
Is it?
Yeah, so that's something fun, right?
Yeah.
Love Serving Autism does teach tennis, but we also focus on communication and life skills. And what we teach on the tennis court, we would like to generalize into the daily life, whether it's at the home, the school, and the community. So it's not just learned on the tennis court. So it's really important that program directors and volunteers understand the bigger picture of our program and encourage the children to communicate. I would always encourage competency and expect the child to be independent. But if you see that they're struggling in an activity, I would first provide a verbal prompt followed by a physical prompt so that you can eventually fade those prompts. Some children can do all the drills independently, and some need hand-over-hand assistance for the first few weeks until they know the routine, and it helps with their gross motor and fine motor skills. A goal for a child first entering Love Serving Autism would be, number one, to learn the routine. Number two, to feel like they're engaging in a positive, supportive environment, that they are accepted unconditionally, whether they're perfect at tennis or they're not, that they create friendships with volunteers and buddies, that it's a safe place, that they're not judged for having autism or being different. Also parents, it's a great support network for parents as well, so we encourage parents to come out to classes and really communicate with each other about their child's routines and therapies and be support networks to each other. The best way to know how to prompt a child is to first of all get to know them, introduce yourself, let them know that you're here to help them, and they will let you into their personal space, but you have to initially create that relationship of trust, that bond. Once you've created that, whether it's 1 or 2 sessions, they may start to let you physically guide them and prompt them. Some children do not like to be touched with the racket or the hand, and they will tell you that, or you could tell that they have a reaction to it, and that's okay. You might be able just to use gestures or visuals instead. But I'd say most of the children in our programs do let us, do hand over hand as needed, but it is important when a child is agitated or they potentially, are self-injurious that, you provide that space for them, because not all the children do want you in their personal space. Also critical to use targets during stroke production so the kids know where to aim. Whether you use cones, you use the dollar store baskets, you can create a fun game and give them points every time they hit a target. So not only are they standing on the poly spots, but they're also aiming for the targets. You can use different colors. Children with autism are very visual learners, so they like to see bright colors. It's important that you encourage them, provide positive verbal support, and a very important strategy when communicating with children with autism is to use more visuals and less verbal language. 80% of our children are in red ball programs, but there are some that are now progressing to orange and green ball. And we do have a few now after 3 years who are playing yellow ball tennis, which is after school programs with juniors. They're inclusive settings. So if as a program director or volunteer you recognize that a child is progressing to this level and they're ready to learn to serve and return and keep score, it's important you contact us, because they could potentially compete in tournaments someday and play in leagues, and this is great for their self-esteem. So we really want to promote this pathway and enable the children to succeed and reach their full potential. We don't want to hold them back. So if they are progressing, it's important to let them to continue to progress and recognize that ability. And if you need assistance with knowing what to do next, please contact us. It means a lot to us for program directors to attend our fundraisers and special clinics in the community, because the kids know you and they connect with you, and it's just a big reward for them to see you at these events, and it means a lot to us again. So we thank you in advance for your time volunteering outside of the classes. Okay, so it's important that program directors every week have a checklist in their mind or on paper to know that, we're focusing on the tennis drills, but in addition, every session you're using your visual schedule and stretching poster and character development traits, and every session you're using the poly spots, and you're really focusing on the tennis and the communication and the life skills in one session, so that you implementing all areas, and keep it positive with the parents, keep it short and simple. If you have additional questions, you can contact me at any time and I can help communicate with those families.